I'm not even that sure whether I'm allowed to review this club or not. Mainly because it's a tour-only prototype that never got released to the public. To be honest, I didn't even know this club even existed until I stumbled across it at Replay Golf. Someone, or should I say some pro, had actually traded it in. So let's give it a full review and see how long this video is actually able to stay up on YouTube. But after a bit of testing in the room, I kind of wish they'd released it to the general public. Tell me that's not the best Wilson fairway wood you've ever seen. I had to do a lot of digging to find out exactly what I'm holding in my hands. And realistically, the only information I could find was Gary Woodland using this model in terms of driver and fairway back in 2020. But in terms of technology or advancement, whatever you like to call it, I have to say, there's not really that much information, but let me tell you why I think this is very different. Number one, the general look and appearance is straight off what I would consider USGA conforming mugshot. When we see the TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping driver all in black and white, you don't get to see the graphics. And this club did get approved on the conforming list, but never actually made it into our hands. Which I do think is a bit of a shame, as I have to say, this is the best looking Wilson fairway wood driver model I've ever seen. I love the understatedness. It's not colourful, it's not brash. There's a nice big weight at the front to keep the centre of gravity very close to the face. And there's definitely something about golf clubs nowadays when it's understated and not a look at me kind of golf club where you start going, that actually looks rather premium. Now the challenge of this video is I will end it as soon as I hit a shot offline. Essentially 270 yards divided by 10% is 27 yards. Therefore, we're somewhat within our dispersion range. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't tour-only prototype magic going on, but this Wilson fairway wood for me definitely highlights why so many pros are now going to a 5-wood with an extremely stiff, heavy shaft in it. I have full control of this club. It is a rod. I can feel every aspect of this club. If anything, it wants to slow my swing down into the ball, and you match that up with 18 degrees loft, or some of the boys even more, 22 degrees loft when the club is at address. Meaning, on a good shot, you're definitely going to be somewhere down the fairway, but on a bad shot, there's so much backspin, it somewhat kind of just floats into the air and then comes down, hopefully in the fairway. 200 yards with 4,500 backspin is an astronomical advantage for someone like myself. Now, this Wilson club is very different from the ones that I've tested in the past. I would compare them a lot more to the Ping series, where all the weight's normally at the back, they're very loud sounding and very forgiving, high launching, high spinning, which again highlights what I was just suggesting there. However, if you make clubs that are extremely good for amateur golfers, help them a lot, and as someone that club fitted a lot, Ping was one of the easiest clubs to get in people's hands. Because if you didn't have that much club head speed, well, you could just get the ball airborne. Oh, that could be close, that is. Stay in line, please, stay in line. 33 yards offline. All right, okay, well, maybe that's a bit too short of a video. The only problem with making clubs that are high launching, high spinning, unlike the TaylorMade Stealth series, great for the tour pros, high launching, low spinning, they're fine in the middle, their numbers are so good. To be perfectly honest, they don't need the extra forgiveness or the added backspin to potentially get rid of their slice. Therefore, those pros are looking for ultimate distance, great feedback, great sounding clubs that are going to give them an extra bit of yardage down the fairway. Which is why we've got the creation of these Wilson Labs metals. Because I have to say, if it didn't say Wilson on the bottom of them, I could have easily mistook it for every other 350-pound fairway wood that's out on the market. Right, let's concentrate. I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to hit 5 shots. Let's see my dispersion. Right, shot 10, last one. Oh, best one for last. This thing is just another level. Apart from the 3 hooks, which is very traditional with my swing at the moment, I mean, that's just what I'm looking for. And to be fair, that's been very much helped by a lot of that. As a quick guide for you guys to get your own cheat stick, this is what I'd recommend. If you swing less than 90 miles an hour with your driver, I highly recommend a regular flex 5 wood. And to be perfectly honest, it doesn't really matter what brand, just don't put any adjustable weighting in the head. Again, if you're swinging your driver at 90, your fairway wood's probably at 85, and as you can see, just over that 200-yard mark. Now, I'm not saying don't get a 7 wood if you swing less than 90 miles an hour. You potentially could have a 5 wood and a 7 wood, but I would recommend if you're looking for the cheat stick, a 7 wood above 100 miles an hour for some of you big guys that hit it a long way. That backspin, that launch with the stiff flex shaft, just means when you do pull it or you do slice it, like I very much do, this is just helping you stay somewhat down the middle, even if you impart any side or any bad shots. The point is, it's not necessarily this Wilson Labs that I've fallen in love with, but the combination of an 18 degrees solid fairway wood that looks as good as it is, with this taut X-stiff shaft in it, kind of enlightened me a bit. I probably should put one in the bag. The bit that impressed me is that if you hadn't told me this is Wilson and you told me it's every other big name manufacturer in the wood category, I wouldn't have even thought twice.